Hey everyone, welcome to this episode of Wargaming on a Budget. So today we've spent about $100 on AliExpress, which if you're not sure what that is, Alibaba, Wish.com, Temu are all sort of equivalents of AliExpress. And I just thought it'd be cool to buy $100 worth of miniatures and see what we get. Now, not everything is a miniature. There is a little special thing at the end that I thought would be pretty cool. And today, my partner, Lady Vamps, will be assisting me, passing me products and telling me how much they're worth. I decided to give Rennie a little break after the whole slime sponsorship incident. But he'll be back shortly, and he's certainly not in any danger or trapped in any rooms. Just to let you guys know, I just want to completely let you know that he's fine. Nothing wrong with him. Alright, so let's start. So Lady Vamp's going to pass me a package.
Don't dox me.
Oh, yep. You're going to pass me a package and we'll see what we've got in here. Alright, so might angle this down just a little bit more now that my introduction is over. Okay, cool. Alright, so we've got two copper miniatures here. Silver copper or whatever it's called.
They were listed as metal.
Yep, alright, so we've got what looks like to be a demon hunter here. So we'll get some better up-close shots of these for the rest of the video, I promise. I will put them somewhere on the screen for a better shot. That's pretty cool, that's not too bad. Yeah, I mean, that's quite nice. We'll also paint these as part of the video. I'll just paint a couple of these and we'll see how they take paint. But I like it. She's like a demon hunter from Diablo. So there's that particular one. And we'll have a look. We've got a Spartan. A bit of a bent sword, but that's alright. Good news about being metal minis. You can just sort of bend them back into place. Cool. So I'll just put that forward. That's not too shabby. And then you'll get a better photo. I'll put it better. We'll get when Rennie gets back for editing purposes. We'll put an extra one in. Okay, and so the Metal Roman and our Demon Huntress was $5.50 each, so $11.17 for the two of them. So we got a bit cheaper for getting two. Now what I'm going to actually angle me back up just so, yeah, we're going to try and get a happy medium. Let's there we go. Alright, cool, and then I'll maybe put these back a little bit. There we go. Cool. Alright, so that's not too bad. Not too shabby. Okay. Next one. Oh, sorry. Yep. Okay. Oh, these what are these fellas?
They were the 6 random figures that cost me under $6.
Ah, cool. Yep. No worries. So these are the D&D figures.
Yep.
That they were under. Alright, here, give me this. This is meant to be like, actually, I think, there, found it. Alright, cool. Let's have a sticky beak here. I'll just pop that on the floor for the time being. Alright. Oh, we got some oddly shaped bases here. We got a hex base. Okay. Alright. Well, we got some very small people here. We've got what looks to be like possibly a merchant. Oh no, it's a witch. It's a witch with a pot. And then we've got what looks to be some type of nondescript desert warrior. So these guys are small guys. Okay, once again, we'll get the photos up. I'll put a dollar coin or whatever for size. We've got what looks to be like a Valkyrie from Norse myth. So, yeah, once again, I'll put proper pictures up, but I'll hold them up so you can get an idea on what the size sort of is. We've got some type of... It looks like a ghost hunter. She's like got Velma-style hair with glasses. She looks like a 1970s like pulp detective with a flashlight. Once again, these will show up, and I'll paint one of these. I'm not sure which one. We've got a tiny boy with a bowl cut. Well, not too bad though. Like, I mean, they look decent. So, and then finally we've got what looks to be an Alan Ripley knockoff with a shotgun. I actually think this I can work with. I could do something with that for sure. Oh, hey, nice. So, and that total was $5.60. Wow, that's actually pretty good. Not too bad. All right, here we go. So we've got. These are the samurai. Man,
the ones you're looking for.
Yeah. These are quite large, actually. These fellas, but
these are the ones for my car.
Yes.
But they said they were resin.
I don't think they're resin, to be honest, but they look cool. I'm not sure if I'd use that for a war game. I think they're a little bit too big, but they are pretty decent considering how much did these fellas cost us?
The two of them together was $5.16. They were $4 each if I bought them separately.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, I mean, these aren't bad. As I said, I think I don't think I'd use these for wargaming, but you know that's.
They came under D&D miniature.
Yeah, you sort of you get a bit of a mixed bag, right? Like, I mean, when you buy things off AliExpress and stuff like that, you got to expect to have some level of sort of, you know. Alright, next one. Okay, yep. Wow, these are quite well wrapped. Pop this stuff on the floor. Alright. These are the metal samurai ones. Alright, we've got all three of them out of their prison now. Alright, so we've got these three copper samurai minis. These are actually really nice. I'm really looking forward to seeing how these take color. And $5 each roughly is what they are. Not too bad, not too bad. I mean, I think if I was going to get these guys and pay that kind of money, I'd want a skirmish game, not so much a full-size. I wouldn't want to be playing like a full-size samurai game with it, but there's like Ronin and Test of Honor and stuff like that, so that's pretty cool. Here we go. Okay. These are my plastic army guys, but they're ancient soldiers. So I will just cut out and take a few of these out. So this is 200 pieces. I thought these guys could be pretty cool to make, like, you know, epic scale for different war games. Even though they're yeah, I mean, you could probably get away with 15 mil. I mean, look, they're not amazing, but they're not bad either. You know, I'm not sure if I'd call them ancient. These are definitely more medieval than ancient, but you know, that's fine. Yeah, that's not too bad. I mean, 200 of them. That's a lot of people, and that cost me $9. Like $9 for 200 dudes. That's a lot. That's for if you went for 15 mil scale, you would get a lot of guys for your historical war game for this. They wouldn't look amazing, but they do the job. Alright, let's move on to the next one. Okie dokie. Yeah, another. This is a monster. So I got a monster. I wanted to have a look for silver bayonet purposes. So we have Cerberus or Kyberus, if you want to pronounce it in the original Greek way. Not too bad. Yeah, that'll do the job. He's not quite as big as I thought he was going to be, but that's alright. You can do a small one. And he cost me $10. Not too bad for copper, honestly. So, alright, here we go. So I know about these. This one is not as big a surprise. So these are ones that I bought that are like proper resin minis from basically a company. So I'm very much looking forward to having a sticky beak at these. So I thought I could use these for mouse guard. Oh, geez, these boys are beefy. Wow, that is a big miniature. They're nice, though. Oh, I just got stabbed by his teeth. Hopefully the resin's cured properly. Actually, that's a support. Yeah, cool.
Yeah, they were very supportive.
Yes, they're still covered in supports. But that's cool. His sword broke. That's alright. That's a bit of glue. They're still a bit sticky. So they may need time to cure a bit more, maybe in the sun. Remove all the stuff. That means I've probably just poisoned myself with resin by stabbing myself in the hand.
You'll be right.
Yeah. Alright, these are really nice though. So this one you might actually be able to get because he's quite big. I mean, like, here's what he's like next to a samurai. So, but yeah, no, these would be quite nice. I do admit I'd probably prefer these to be actual Wargaming size. They specified they were, but these boys are really more display pieces, I reckon. They're really cool though.
They say 50 mil.
50 mil, okay, fair enough. I could have sworn they said 30, but I must have read it wrong. So, alright, these guys are cool. I think they'll be awesome. I will paint one of them up. I'll probably stick them out in the sun to cure a little bit more after I remove the supports. And speaking of which, I'm now going to go wash my hands before we get into the next section.
They were $28.
They were $28 as well. So I'm just going to go wash my hands and we'll be right back with you. I'll just leave it on. Okay. So now we're coming into the final little bit. So I decided to go for a little bit, something a little bit different for bolt action here was my idea. So I got some Lego. So, well, Lego. They are Lego inspired. So let's have a look here. We've got the first one is our little vehicle. Our Jeep. You get a proper shot. I'll try and assemble it for the video in time. So that cost me $5.80. Not too bad, really. So, alright, cool. So that's quite nice. And we've got our next piece. Alright, cool. Ooh. These are my soldiers. So these are British soldiers. There's 20 of them, I believe. Yep, 20 for $8. Pretty good, yeah. So, got a bit of an army going on there. That's 2 squads of guys. Just pass me one of them. Okay, cool.
It's open.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah, it's yep, cool. And then we've got my artillery. So, which comes on a sprue. Lego that comes on a sprue. Okay, so we got the artillery gun there. Nice. And that cost me $4.30. And finally, we've got the tank, which I'll show you fully assembled, and that was $5.50. So, not too bad for, like, probably what is a few hundred points of bolt action, and that cost me about $20. If I bought another set of both those things, I'd probably have enough to field an army of, an army of 1,000 points of bolt action. So, even if I just bought some more soldiers. And there are things like heavy machine guns and stuff like that. Honestly, I think out of everything, the Lego bolt action is actually probably the most viable thing out of all the stuff. Oh, except for maybe, painting these little dudes up as a medieval 15mm army. But yeah, so that's pretty much what we got. So that wasn't too bad. So we've got half a bolt action army, which, well, like a small size bolt action army, we'll say, because I think you can play at 500 points. I don't think that's going to hurt you. We've got definitely enough to make a medieval 15mm army. And then we've just got some nice little odds and ends here that I'll still paint up, and we'll get full pictures up. So anyway, that's all for this version of me. I will let the future version of me, who's painted everything, take over. So go ahead, buddy. Hey everyone, we're back. I'm done. We've finished the painting procedure. You may have noticed that I've got a haircut and stuff like that. That's because this took 2 weeks to get everything sorted. School holidays, right smack dab in the middle is when I started this video. Right on my birthday, actually. Yay! But Anyway, I've now finished the painting. So we'll get a nice up-close shot of this. So we're going to start with the little desert warrior. So, yeah, I mean, like, look, I'm actually pretty happy with this guy as far as a miniature is concerned. I'm not ecstatic about the paint job, but all these paint jobs are meant to be just get paint on it and see how it works as a miniature. But yeah, like, this guy wasn't too bad. I do think he's a bit on the small side. I'm not sure what I'm going to use him for, but, you know, it's cool to sort of be able to get miniatures at this scale. But I do much prefer the other sort of, you know, amount, basically. So yeah, the Desert Warrior. Then we'll have a look at our really cheap, crappy 200-piece plastic army men. Yeah, I was actually surprised at how well these actually worked out. Like, no joke, legitimately. I was expecting them to be a big old pile of crap, and they're not the greatest miniatures ever, but I got 200 of these guys for like $5. And they do the job. Like, they look decent. Once they got some paint on them, they just look like 15mm scale minis, honestly. Like, I mean, I think if you put 15mm scale minis next to these guys, it'd be pretty apparent, but from table length back, yeah, I think you'd be absolutely fine. And yeah, that was just surprisingly a good little thing. So then we've got our first copper mini, the Hopperlite. So this guy was actually really fun to paint. I really like this miniature. It's good quality. The base is good. Yeah, I really don't have a complaint about painting this guy, other than the fact that I've just noticed that I've accidentally painted his left greave blue and have left it that way. So that will be fixed in the future, but for now, we'll just leave it as is. But no, I actually think that this guy turned out really well, other than that particular personal thing. And the miniatures was really nice and high quality. So I think this guy cost me $4, so that's not too bad. Then we've got the same kind of copper, the samurai. I'm not ecstatic about this guy's paint job, for me personally, but I think I've got the right idea. He just needs another go over, I think, just fixing some highlights and stuff. But as I said, this video is 2 weeks later than I wanted it to be, so yeah. It's a good mini, though. Other than his face, once I put paint on his face, it just took away any kind of facial features this guy had, for the most part, other than his nose, basically. So this could be, though, that it's at the end of its mold period. Not so much that the miniature, the miniatures itself is a problem. It could be the mold that they pump it into might be on its last legs, which means it could be fixed if you decide to buy some. So, yep. And then we've got the Cerberus once again. I'm really not happy with the paint job, but the point is to show it off. I think it's a bit small for what I'm looking for. It's definitely, like, if I was to put a Cerberus mini on the field to represent Cerberus, I would definitely have a bigger mini. But overall, the sculpt was quite nice. There's some good detail on it, and I do like it. I just wouldn't. I'd probably use it as a mini Cerberus sort of thing, you know, like, hey, Cerberus approaches with two of its kids, right? Done. Then we have the Paranormal Investigator, who I went very 80s with. I think this mini is pretty good. I'm not a big fan of hex bases, unless it's for Battletech, basically. But overall, the miniature's a good sculpt. She took paint very well, and it was just a fun little mini to paint. A little bit outside my own comfort zone with this particular one, mostly because I generally don't do sort of modern miniatures, and this was sort of like a 70s, 80s style miniature, so I was a bit wary, but it turned out I actually think she's probably the second best painted miniature I did out of this lot. And then finally we have our Mouse Guard. So the Mouse Guard, these minis were great, and they're not even really minis, honestly, they're more like megas, maybe. They are technically miniature, but this guy, you know, like, look at him next to the samurai, for example. I'll get a good shot of that. He's big. He's a big boy. So I think this is a good thing of read the description of an item before you purchase it, which I kind of did, but I missed where it said how big it was. But that being said, I got a full squad of 5 of these guys, and they're pretty big minis, and I paid like $20 for them. So, I mean, yeah, he looks good. He was fun to paint. I really enjoyed it. I have 0 complaints about this. So that there's that mini for you. And let's move on to the next segment. Something I'm actually kind of excited about. I hope you guys are too. So let's get it out. All right, pow. Cool. All right. So what do we have here? We have the Lego Bolt Action, which I was pretty happy with. So let's get some close-up shots of these. Let's start at the beginning. The Bolt Action Soldiers. Yeah, I mean, I have 0 complaints about these guys. They look British. They've got rifles. They cost me like $6 for 20 of them. Honestly, if I bought another lot of 20, I'd pretty much have all the infantry for my army. The only downside is they all come with the same gun, but I'm pretty sure I could probably buy some Lego guns. So that's pretty good. The tank. I do like this tank. I do think it's pretty nifty, but it is tiny. It is not to scale. The soldiers are almost bigger than it. It's not overly great in that regard. So yeah, I mean, in a pinch, definitely it would work. I don't have a problem with how the tank ended up looking. I think it's fine, but yeah, scale is a bit off. Then we got the artillery gun. The artillery gun is actually really cool. It came on a flat pack, which I've never actually seen Lego come on a flat pack before. So it was on a sprue. It was weird. I didn't know what to make of it. I undid it, and yeah. So that was pretty much it for the flat pack. It actually works though. Like, you can actually put one of these shells into the gun, and it will actually fire, which is kind of crazy. So that's pretty cool. I'll take that one. And then finally, we got this sort of like a Jeep amphibious vehicle. Yeah, I mean, this is actually to scale, so let's take a win on that particular one. And it's just it's pretty good. The only thing I will say is I do think that the guy who came with it is a bit crap. He's not the best looking minifig I've ever seen. But I suppose, you don't want to get sued by Lego either. So there you go. Well, the other guys definitely look like Lego minifigs, but he's a decent driver, and he could be an officer to have him stand out. So yeah, Lego Bolt Action. All this cost me $30. So I think for like $60, Australian, obviously, you could definitely get a full 1,000-point Bolt Action army for that. And that's pretty good for Bolt Action. I was just looking in the store the other day, and a full Bolt Action army is about 140 in my local store. So I could get I could get 2 Lego Bolt Action armies for that, right? So, and just for the record, there are Lego minifig bases that are based for different war games, so you can definitely find them out there, and I think that's pretty nifty. So yeah. Anyway, all right. So that's pretty much it for what we got from AliExpress. I mean, I did get more than this, obviously, but this is the sample pack for you, except for the Lego. That's all the Lego. But the sample pack of miniatures, but I did get a lot more than that. See, look, I've got the bag right down here for my 200 plastic army guys, which honestly, I think out of everything, these guys are my favorite thing that I bought, actually, weirdly enough. The cheapest, crappiest thing on the list ended up being my favorite. So yeah, I guess, is this stuff worth it, I suppose, at the end of the day? So let's quickly just break it down. Let's start with my favorite, the soldiers. Yeah, they're worth it, absolutely. Once you paint them, they look very convincing. from tableside. Don't get them thinking that you're going to be like, ooh, yeah, everyone's going to sit there and say how attractive my miniatures are. But to go, here we go, I got like 200 odd guys on bases on a table. Bang. Can't complain about it. And they do have knights, like knights on horses and other ones. So you can pretty much go the whole spectrum. They even have ancients, so you can do Romans and probably Greeks. So yeah, I mean, these guys are definitely good for medieval stuff. For strongest recommend, big old thumbs up for that one. The copper minis, I think we can do these as a lot. The copper minis, what do I think about them? Well, yeah, I gotta give them a thumbs up as well. I mean, price wise, actually, you know what? I'm gonna go with a sideways thumb. They are good. I do think that if you can get them for cheap enough, they're definitely worth it, but they're pretty much comparable to most other cheaper mini ranges, and at that point, you're probably going to get more bang for your buck if you sort of go for those cheaper ranges. For what you get, though, they're pretty decent. I think they'd be fine for skirmish games or D&D games. I wouldn't recommend trying to make a whole army of these copper minis. I think that would be absolutely just crazy. Because 10 copper minis, even at their cheapest price, like $4, $3-4, that's still $30-40. Like that's not cheap. So it definitely does stack up. But for a one-time miniature, for another war game or something, if you buy like 5 of these hoplite guys, yeah, awesome, like great. So yeah, sideways thumb. They're cool, but I don't think they're overall worth it. But I wouldn't give them a thumbs down either. And then we got these 6 D&D miniatures, which are what the hunter lady, the investigator 80s lady came from, and the desert warrior came from. And these ones, yeah, I'd say they're probably worth it. I think if you ended up getting, like, say, 4 or 5 of these, look how tiny that is. You can't even see it on camera. If you ended up getting, like, 4 out of 6 of these guys, even at $5, 5, 6, actually, we paid 9, I think it was. Yeah, no, I don't think that's worth it. But if you ended up getting, like, 6 of the equivalent size of this, which we got 4 of these and 2 smalls. So overall, I'd say, yeah, that's a thumbs up. I'll give that a thumbs up. The miniatures are good quality at all sizes, so I really don't have a problem with them. The mouse guard. Now see, this is hard. I'm going to give this a sideways thumbs up too. Simply because of the size of them. If they were regular miniature size, they would probably get the biggest thumbs up out of everyone here. But because of how large they are, they're really only going to be useful for very particular things. And for me, I'm going to paint them, I'm going to display them, and that's it. They're not going to be used for war games. So for display purposes, big old thumbs up. For actual wargaming, sideways thumb. For price, there's a good price. Like, resin minis are not the cheapest, and I got quite a few of these. So, 5. And then finally, we've got the Lego. The Lego I'm going to just cut up a little bit here. Tank, I mean, worth it for the price, but it doesn't really help me with the rest of my bolt action stuff. So, be a bit more careful on that. So, thumbs up if you're going for complete tank warfare, because if everyone has the same size tanks, it doesn't matter. Sideways thumb if you're going to play an actual Lego version of bolt action with it, because it's just going to be ill-sized for what you're looking for. The other 3, thumbs up. Absolutely. The $8 for 20 minifigs is pretty freaking good, and then you've got a whole bunch of soldiers, and you can get them Germans, Russians, the US, pretty much almost every major bolt action faction. Oh, there's an interesting word. Bolt action faction you can get. Really sort of comes together. And this artillery gun is cool. So, yeah, thumbs up for them. And that's it. Now we can finish up. So, thank you so much for joining me, guys. Remember, my Discord is in the description and on my page. If you join, you'll get sneak peeks, like you would have known about these miniatures being painted. And Also, any kind of maybe sneaky battle reps might end up there. It depends on. We'll see how the pirate one goes. So yeah, pirates battle rep will be coming out shortly. I've also got my 50 subscriber special, which is basing. I'm going to talk about how I base things. So, and we've got War Story number 5 already ready to go, which probably won't be this week, but this week was this. It probably won't be next week, but it might be the week after. So. I was trying to get that done for April, but if I'd done it I did actually haven't finished for April, but if I did it, I would have done back-to-back war stories, and I'm trying to avoid back-to-back war stories at this point. So yeah, thanks so much for joining me, guys. If you have any questions, leave a comment, and we'll go from there. And if you'd like to see another one of these videos, where I do AliExpress or whatever, or Wish, or maybe Temu, something like that, leave a like, and if there's enough likes there, I'll whip out another one of these ones at some point. Alright guys, you have a good one. I'll catch you next time.